it's your art teacher, Mr. Guerra, and today we're going to be getting out our crayons, our colored pencils, our markers if you got them, because today we are going to be coloring. It's always fun to create new art projects and use new art supplies, but nothing quite matches the greatness of taking out a coloring book, or in this case, printing out a few coloring pages and going color crazy. But not too crazy, at least this time. You'll see. And paired with these coloring sheets is Buzu Trading Card number 10, Huevar Kolorgoode. This nomadic gnome wields a mystic mushroom staff, which is why his first classification is mythic. And as an itty-bitty barbarian wandering the 12 worlds of the BuzuVerse, with his mega massive mallet, he also gets the identity classification as well. For over 200 years, Huevar Kolorgoode has had epic, endless battles across countless gardens, patios, and front lawns, and brings his legendary status and battle experience to the Buzu battlegrounds. Now this time around, you are going to need to print out 1, 2, or all 3 gnome coloring pages, and grab your favorite art supply to color with. For this video, my media of choice will be colored pencils, and you can find links for both the coloring pages and the exact coloring pencils that I'm using in the link below. So whether you have printed out one of the 3 gnome coloring sheets that's included with this card, or you're just coloring something else on your own, I want to talk to you about something really, really important, and that is coloring craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is defined as the careful, intentful, neat, and detailed approach to creating a finished artwork. In this case, your coloring page. And with each of these 3 gnome coloring sheets, I'm going to share with you 2 different tips on how to achieve excellent coloring craftsmanship. I'm talking about the kind of coloring that's going to wow anyone who sees it, but most importantly, wow yourself. The first tip I want to share is that I want you to color carefully and slowly, which is kind of funny because the video that you're watching has been put into fast forward motion, but I promise you I did not color these coloring pages quite this quickly. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Check this out. If this video had me coloring in all 3 of these gnome coloring sheets at regular speed, we would be here for hours and hours, so I'm just going to speed it up again. When you're trying to get better at something artistic, especially coloring, rarely is the path to get there filled with rushing, hurrying up, going as fast as you can. Go slowly, because that's just going to help you stay within the lines and get that exact right level of shading, that exact right attention to detail, so that everything is on purpose, the color that you want it to be. And speaking of the color that you want it to be, my second tip is you might be surprised at how effective coloring in the same direction works. Get your paper into a position that feels natural, easy, and comfortable for your wrist. That way you can color in the same direction. And the direction doesn't matter. It can be up or down, side to side, diagonal, but as long as you keep coloring in the same direction, you're going to be happy with the end result. Now, normally, fictional gnomes, according to folklore, are harmless. They're traditionally very peaceful creatures unless they come across something they really don't like. For instance, there's a legend from the Renaissance period about mining gnomes that are described as Bergmanlein. I apologize for my pronunciation. I hope I said that right. Which are basically mining gnomes who, if annoyed, would throw pebbles or gravel at miners. However, Huevar Kolorgoode isn't your average gnome. He's a Gnome Barbarian who will take things up a notch by bonking his opponents on the head, confusing them. This special ability is of course called Barbarian Bonk. The next coloring craftsman tip that I'd like to share with you is to try blending colors. Whether you're overlapping two colors to create a new hue, or, as you can see here in Naomi's hair, you can use white in some areas and darker colors in others to create a sense of shading and depth. Blending can really boost your artwork and your confidence. Another coloring tip that I'd like to share is to color in the background, and to do it with as much craftsmanship as you did with whatever the main image is. No background at all? Even better. Challenge yourself to see a blank background as an opportunity to be creative. Where is the object you're coloring? I mean, you can place it literally anywhere, from an underwater scene to a planet in deep space. Just draw, ink, and color it in. I love mythology. I find it fascinating. In fact, when it comes to gnomes, did you know that if you find a cluster of mushrooms out there in the wild, that might indicate that a gnome has made its home somewhere nearby? According to Dutch folklore, kabouters, I think I got that one, kabouters, which are tiny gnome-like beings, are sometimes said to live among mushrooms. Now, as a wandering nomad, Huevar doesn't have a home. He wanders around all the time. But he will use his mystic mushroom staff to temporarily turn adversaries into fungi. This is his second special ability, called Shroom Shifter. Continuing on with tips on how to up your coloring craftsmanship game, I encourage you to leave nothing white unless it's supposed to be. And even if what you're coloring is supposed to be white, you can always use a color lightly around the edges to create a little volume, like here in this beard. Another way to take your craftsmanship to the next level is to add details, whether drawn onto the paper directly or whether it's drawn, colored, pasted from a different sheet. You can greatly increase how interesting your artwork is simply by adding a detail or two that wasn't there before. In 16th century alchemy, Paracelsus was a guy who claimed that gnomes were closely related to the earth. Folklore describes gnomes as dwelling among roots and underground passages and tending to the soil. This explains Huevar Kolorgoode's third special ability, Crater Creator, when he smashes the ground creating traps to lure opponents into. Okay, I just want to take some time away from Buzu cards and the art lesson just for a second, because I got to tell you something really important. When it comes to mushrooms, they may look appetizing, but not all of them are safe. When you're out in nature, never ever eat any of the mushrooms you find. Some mushrooms might look fun or familiar, but they can make you very sick, so always check with a grown-up before eating anything you find out there in the wild. Coloring craftsmanship, adding details, and filling in the background. Hopefully, I've kind of demonstrated how these things are fun and important and great for building up your abilities as an artist, but I wouldn't be an honest and true art teacher if I didn't actually suggest the importance of coloring just for fun. Now that you've learned these coloring strategies, tips, and tricks, I now encourage you to go outside the lines and choose colors that you normally wouldn't, or colors that don't even make sense. I mean, you gotta enjoy that colorful chaos. Having fun making art is just as important, and I might even argue more important than learning techniques. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you like Buzu Trading Cards, if you think they're fun and you'd like to start your collection, join the Buzu crew over at patreon.com/BuzuCards, where you can plant yourself into the rich, creative soil of the BuzuVerse. Well, that's all I've got for now. Keep that colorful craftsmanship coming, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Want to know even more about Huevar Kolorgoode? Don't forget to download and print the character sheet. Link in the description below.
Did you know that the gnome coloring sheets featured in this video were made from scratch? Well, you can watch it happen. Links in the description below.